Welcome back. Today we are getting practical. In this episode, I will take you through the exact step-by-step process for building an AI automation. So here's what we'll cover. Defining clear objectives for your automation. List and clarify each step of your current process that's to be automated. Map out your automation visually, select and configure your tools, and then test and launch your automation. I'm going to show you exactly how I build automations live, so you'll see firsthand how easy it can be to get started. So let's jump right in. Okay, so we are going to look at building an AI automation from scratch. I've chosen to build something I actually want to build, which is a LinkedIn article content repurposer. So what I'm trying to achieve is I want to look through, I've published quite a lot of articles on LinkedIn, 20 or 30, and I want to look through them all and see if there's any ideas that I can reuse for shorter LinkedIn posts or videos or something like that. So what I'm going to do is take you through step by step how I would normally approach this, so that you can kind of understand how these things are built. So the first thing that I would always do is I would create a sort of outline. Normally if I'm doing this for a client, obviously I would need to build an idea for a proposal. I'm doing this for myself, so I normally do it in my head or on paper, but I've written it all out for the purposes of this video. So the first thing that I would always do is understand what my goal is. So what am I actually trying to achieve? So I've written here, mine for content ideas from my published LinkedIn articles. And then I'd work out what are the requirements. Sometimes I would write these as nice to have, need to have, depending on the complexity. But in this case, I've just written requirements. So I need to obviously somehow get the content from the published articles. Then I need to sort of read through them and find snippets of ideas. And then I need to kind of put those ideas somewhere so that I can look through them. So then the next step that I would always do is I'd then brainstorm what are some ideas of how I could achieve this. So I could do some kind of web scraper to get the copy from my LinkedIn profile, work out how to get the URLs of all of the articles, and then kind of push that through ChatGPT to find snippets. Or maybe I could manually download all of the copy to some kind of file and then push it into ChatGPT. Obviously I don't really want to do anything manually. Or I could download, I had the idea of, I wonder if articles is something that you can download from LinkedIn's data, and it is. So I can download all of my LinkedIn articles and then create an automation to cycle through each one by one. So then the next step I would do is I would kind of map out roughly what process do I think I'm going to have to build to achieve this. So first step is going to be to download the articles. So I've already been into LinkedIn to check it's possible, so I'll show you that in a sec. And then I'll just theoretically have every single article one by one. Then I need to somehow get the copy out of the article. Then I need to somehow mine through that to find ideas within the copy. And then once I've found ideas, put them somewhere. So maybe put them on a Excel spreadsheet or a Google Sheets sheet. So let me show you the first step, which is downloading the articles, which I've already done, but I'll show you how to do that. So here I am on my LinkedIn profile, and if you click on me, settings and privacy, and then data privacy, get a copy of your data, you can actually export. Oh, it's looking funny because I've just exported it. When you look at this, it won't be highlighted like this. It's because I've already done it, that it's letting me download it. But you can either download lots of things like your connections, your contacts, and download history, or if you want something specific. So I've ticked articles, and then there was a button that said request download, something like that. And then you have to wait for 10-15 minutes. It'll then send you an email saying your archive is ready, and then you'll get sent a link, and the link will take you to this page, and you can just hit download archive. It'll then give you a zip file. Let me just pull it across to the right place, like this, and there you go. It's all of the articles. I've got 30, all the articles that you've posted on LinkedIn. So what I've done is I've actually grabbed all of these and dragged them over to a Google Drive, so they're all sitting there ready to go. So that's how you get your articles. So I've kind of done this step here, download articles. So now I need to work out how to build an automation to do the rest of the steps. So my preferred program for building automations is called make.com. So let me just grab that. Here we are. And if you click here, create a new scenario, this is the kind of blank slate for creating a automation. So let's call it something sensible. So LinkedIn article repurpose, let's say, just so I can get back to it. Okay, so if we go back to my thing, so the first thing I need to do is get each of the articles. So I've put them in a Google Drive. So I think what I'll need to first do is search for those folders so I can find out their file names. So all you do on Make is you add a series of different modules which represent the different apps that you've got. So if I click this plus button, it's going to offer me all different apps. So I can search for Drive to get to Google Drive, and then I want to search for files, folders, I think. Let's see what happens. So I'll link up to the correct account, and then I want to find that folder that I've already put all of the LinkedIn articles into. So let's just quickly do that. There we are. I want to retrieve files. I don't have any specific search thing, and I had 30, although often I limit it. Let's limit it to 2 as I'm building the automation, so when I run it, it doesn't use tons of credit. So let's save that. So that's me searching for files, and then once I've searched for them, I'm going to have to actually get them. So let's click on download a file, and the file ID, as you see when you click on these fields to fill it in, it will give you the options of anything it's found from the previous step. So in this case, there's my file ID. Hit save. So what I'm doing here is I'm searching that folder for all of those files, and then when it finds them, it's going to then download the file, and then the next thing I want to do is the file, I believe, is an HTML file. Let's have a look at it. Here. Yep, see how these are all HTML files. So if I open this, it'll be like gobbledygook. Well, it'll be HTML code, but obviously that's not that easy to read. So what I'll want to do is to transform the data from HTML into text, and actually Make has a built-in thing called a text parser, which takes HTML and turns it into text. So the HTML is going to be, oh no, what's it going to be from here? I might need to run it to see which field it is. Yeah, I might have to run the other. Sometimes you're not quite sure what the name is, so I might need to run the previous step so that I can find out. It might be data, that's a decent guess. So let's go with that and see what happens. So I'm actually going to limit this to 1 so I don't use too much data, and then I'm just going to test to see if I find a file, download it, and if it takes out the HTML. It's not going to like having this at the end, but let's run it anyway. So hit run once, and so that's it found a file, that's it downloaded, and has it found the text? Yes, it has. Fantastic. So here's an article that I published on the 11th of July 2024, how to streamline your processes, and then here's all the text that was included in that article. So good. So we have found the file, downloaded it, and got the text out. So let's go back to our plan, get rid of LinkedIn. Oh, where's it gone? And see how we're getting on. So we've downloaded the articles, we've grabbed the copy, and we've scraped out the content. So now, how are we going to find ideas from within that copy? So I think probably the best plan is to use AI to do this. Obviously, this is one of AI's specialities. So I'm going to add a ChatGPT module, or actually OpenAI is technically what it's called. And it's already linked up to my account, and I can create a prompt. I've actually in the past created a very similar automation that looked through emails and extracted ideas from email newsletters. So rather than starting the prompt completely from scratch, I'm going to just steal what I've already written, so I'm not just writing it all from scratch again. So first thing I need to do is we need to, well, that's correct, choose a model. We probably don't need anything ridiculously high power. We don't need the, you know, the latest one, but let's go for 4.0. That's a pretty good model. Usually when you're picking models, you're trying to balance cost versus, you know, the best model that you can use, but then you want to keep the cost down. In this case, I've not got that much I'm pushing through. I'm only going to use this automation once, so it doesn't really matter massively on the cost. So now I want to give it a different prompt. So the first thing I need to do is give it a, well, I should probably give it a system prompt. So a system prompt is sort of telling it, what is it? It's like context of what its purpose is. So I could write something like, you are a world-class copywriter and what should we say? What would you describe? Are well versed at finding ideas for content within articles. Content. Your job is to mine copy from LinkedIn articles and find snippets which would be suitable as new ideas. Something like that. I think maybe you want to refine it a bit, but and then obviously we need to add a user prompt. So like I say, I have done something similar to this before to create post ideas from newsletters. So I'm just going to copy that prompt and paste it in, and then we'll adjust it, which saves us from doing it completely from scratch. Okay, so let's, oops, hopefully that's saved, yeah. Okay, so, and you'll see what I've done here is I have used what's called markdown formatting, which is basically using these hashtags to tell it that's a title 1, 2 hashtags is a title 2, 3 hashtags is a title 3, so it kind of understands the hierarchy. And then these stars would make it bold. So I'm going to say here, post media ideas from article. Copy. That's spelled wrong. You are a world-class social media copywriter with a particular talent for repurposing long-form content into engaging bite-sized social media post ideas. Task: you'll be provided with a article copy. Then your task is to extract key ideas which will be turned into social media posts in the future. Each post, yes, we don't need all that, do we? Social media posts in the future. And then instructions: identify key themes, insights, or engaging moments in the copy. Turn them into distinct social media post ideas. Each idea should include title, a short attention-grabbing headline, content, a compelling conversational post that's easy to digest, original, copy of the original text that prompted this idea, and tags, a list of relevant hashtags or keywords to categorize the post. And then I've said that I want it to format the response in JSON. JSON is a type of formatting that's really easy to manipulate into other formats, so often I ask it to do that. So here I've said format your response as JSON, and then I've given it, this is JSON formatting, an example of how to do that. And then I've said input copy, here is the input article copy to pull the ideas from, and that is going to be this text here, and hit save. So that should now generate a bunch of ideas. So let's run it once and see if it actually works. Often it doesn't work on the first run, you need to rethink things, but let's just see what happens. Okay, so let's see what it's come out with. So here it's come out with, so I guess we should have a look and see what the article was in the first place. So the article was episode 2, defining your process, streamlining goals, mapping. Okay, so this was an article, I did an 8-part series on how to optimize your processes, and each of the 8 parts told you a different part of that. So this looks like it's episode 2, which was making sure you've defined your processes. So let's see the original copy here. So this is the original copy, how to streamline your processes. In this episode we will look at defining your process goals and mapping your core processes, and then I go into it. Unfortunately these had a lot of videos in them, so it's possibly not going to do as well, but we'll see what it comes up with. Okay, so what has it come up with? So it's come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ideas. And so here, the key to successful process streamlining, get the foundations right. Yeah, it's a good idea. When it comes to streamlining your processes, don't skip the foundations. If you don't define what success looks like, how will you have optimized effectively? What drives profit in your business? That's interesting. Not streamlining your core process, do this anyway. Small process, big impact, set goals for your optimization, your core process, the backbone of your business. Yeah, so they'll sound sort of reasonable. So let's then think, let's go back to our plan. Where is it? Here. Work out where we've got to. So we've downloaded the articles, we've grabbed the copy, we've scraped the content, and we've found ideas. And now we just want to add them to some kind of sheet. So I should probably make a sheet. So let's do Google Sheet. So what did we tell it? We said we wanted title, what else did we have? Let's go back and have a look and see what I asked it for. So we had title, content, original, and tags. Title, content, original, and tags. That didn't pick up content. Okay. Okay, so that's us got our spreadsheet ready. So the next thing we obviously need to do is get that data into a spreadsheet. So what we're going to do there is, first thing is we need to get the JSON data into a format that can be understood, and luckily Make has a built-in module for that. It's called parse JSON. So it's asking what's the JSON string, and it's going to be the result here. And actually I can see it's doing, it's not going to be able to pick that up. So the reason why I'm hesitating, JSON data needs to start and end with a square bracket. So there's a square bracket right down to the end. There's a square bracket, but you'll see it's got these, I don't even know what they're called, like dash 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 at the end and dash 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 JSON at the beginning. So it's not going to be able to pick that up. I already know that from experience. So what we need to do is rip out those bits before we pass the JSON. So let's add another module, which is a text parser, and we're going to replace. Yeah, so I think what we want to do is replace that dash 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 JSON. Let me copy that. No, that would be too helpful. So dash 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 JSON. With an empty string. I'm not sure I've done that right. Let me just try it. So I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to get the output. Okay, so we are going to look at building an AI automation from scratch. I've chosen to build something I actually want to build, which is a LinkedIn article content repurposer. So what I'm trying to achieve is I want to look in Make, publish quite a lot of articles on LinkedIn, as a 20 or 30, and I want to look through them all and see if there's any ideas that I can reuse for shorter LinkedIn posts,
so that's
or
me
videos
replace
or something
the
like
dash
that.
dash dash JSON.
So
at the
what I'm
beginning,
going to do is
and
take you
then
through step
I
by
can
step
clone this
how I
module
would normally approach this,
and replace the dash dash
so
dash
you can
at the
kind of
end.
understand how these things are built.
And that's going
So the
to
first
come
thing that I would
from
always
this
do
text.
is I would
And now
create
I can
a
pass the JSON.
sort of outline. Normally if I'm doing this for a client,
through,
obviously I would need to
actually
build
going to be
an idea for a
text.
proposal. I'm doing this for myself, so I normally do it in my head or on paper, but I've written it all
run
out
it
for
once
purposes
to
of
get all the data. It's going to crash, but
let's just get some data through so that I can pass it through the JSON. It's going to crash when it gets to here, I think, but we just want to see if it's working so far. Right. Oh, it didn't crash, it managed it on its own. That's good. Awesome. Okay, so it just automatically done it. That's brilliant. Normally you'd have to configure this a bit better. Brilliant. So then you can see that what's happened is it's pulled out each of these, so each of these little bundles. So here, title, the first step in the process, content, blah blah blah, original, and then all the tags. So now what we want to do is pop this into the Google Sheet that we just made. So I need to add another module, which is a Google Sheet, and I want to add a row. So let's hook it up to the correct account, and let's go to our grab the code of the spreadsheet we just made, and then we want to enter that in here. The sheet name is going to be sheet 1 because I didn't call it anything sensible. Oops, that's not what I meant to do, never mind. Okay, so then it's asking me where do we want to put stuff. So A, we had the title, B, we had the content, C, we had the original, and D, we had the tags. So I don't know if the tags will work, but let's see what happens. So let's run that and see if it magically ends up on our spreadsheet or not. Right, something's happened, so let's have a look at our spreadsheet. Yay, it has done something. It's not formatted very nicely, but that's not a problem. So it looks like it's found 6 things. So let's make it a bit more sensible, so we can actually see things. Maybe I'll wrap the text on everything. That one, yeah. Make it a bit wider so it's easier for you to see. Yeah, so here we go. So it's picked out 6 ideas. Some of them are going to be completely useless, but we might find some in here that we like. It's given it a title, and it's given it it's made a sort of, and it's going to be an awful because I didn't give it any instructions really on how to write the post or anything, so it's going to be awful, but at least it kind of gives us an idea of where it's going. And then here it's the original snippet, so it's picked out. As with any project, success depends on defining what success looks like, and then from that it's sort of extrapolated a content idea, and likewise all the rest. So that's worked. So then the next thing to do is to see if it works for, oops, that's not what I meant to do. What's going on here? I've lost the for some reason it went across the other screen. So now we want to see if it'll do it for more than one article. It should be able to do it for all of them. So I could just rip off the plaster and just process it all, or I could, if I'm not feeling confident, just limit it to 5 or something. Let's just see what happens if we run the whole thing, because you can always stop it if it doesn't work. It's obviously then going to rerun the article that I've already done, so I'll get that duplicated, but I could have gone in and removed that article because I've already got it. But anyway, that's not what we've done. So I'll just give it a little while to do a couple of them. Okay, so that's it now, finished processing, and it's come up with 177 ideas. Obviously some of these are going to be kind of useless, and I'll admit it did crash because for some reason in that downloaded list of articles there were 3 files that weren't articles, so I don't know why they came through from LinkedIn. They were just blank, so I'm not sure, maybe they were drafts or something, I don't know, but that crashed the automation, but I just removed them and then kept it running. So in theory that's a lot of stuff that we could, or I could look through and decide if I want to create any posts from there. Obviously the next step would be to make it actually write the post for me, or write an outline of the post, or get it more in my voice or something like that, but that wasn't the goal of this automation. So hopefully that helps show you kind of what the process is to build these things. You've just seen the practical step-by-step process of creating an automation, setting clear goals, defining and mapping your processes, picking and connecting the right tools, and thoroughly testing before launch. Now it's your turn. Pick one simple task in your business and potentially follow these steps and experience your immediate wins that automation can offer. Next time we'll be exploring building something even smarter, your own AI agent. So don't forget to subscribe, leave any questions or ideas in the comments, and I will see you in the next episode.